All right, we're live.
All right. Well, welcome back to the Media Unrestricted podcast. I'm Chase.
And I'm Dylan.
All right. Guess let's just get into the news. We're gonna start it off with a review for Free Guy. And if you saw our out of the theater thoughts, we both enjoyed the film. Dylan, you want to go first and give what you thought of the overall spoiler thing? So, spoiler warning.
Yeah, the I thought it was really good. All of the comedy, like a lot of this is going to be rehashing what I said in the fresh out of the theater video. The comedy really worked for me. A lot of their characters were great. Ryan Reynolds, obviously, he's a great actor. He really did the role really well. Taika Waititi was a great character too, as the head of the game company. Jodie Comer's character was one of my favorites in the movie. I really liked her dynamic between her and Ryan Reynolds. I thought their chemistry in the movie was fantastic. And there were a lot of points in the movie that actually made me almost want to cry. Yeah, because they were really emotional.
Yeah, their emotional was very impactful.
Mm-hmm. And this is one of the first movies about video games that wasn't completely cringy. A lot of the video game movies, you have the movie studios trying to convince people hey, we know people like video games, so here's some video game references and here's some stuff that people said about video games 15 years ago. Mm-hmm. Maybe it's relevant now, but that shit just makes it cringy and stuff nobody wants to see.
Yeah.
But I'm glad they really didn't do a whole lot of that in this movie, because a lot of it really worked for me.
Mm-hmm. As you heard in mine, I thought it was a really good, fun film. Ryan Reynolds is, and this is really great. But what is Ryan Reynolds not great in? That was the thing I always find out. But yeah, Jodie Comer, she was actually my favorite character too. I really liked her a lot in this, and this is actually the first thing I've ever seen her in, so this was kind of new to me. Taika Waititi, he's really good, but every time I always see him and I hear his voice, I always think of Korg, that was cool. I think we talked about it at there. This isn't a video game movie per se. I mean,
it's just a movie about video games.
World, but it's not. But in that saying, it does have a few certain video game references people can easily pick up on.
Yeah, it's got the
weapons,
the Scorpion tank from Halo.
It's got the portal gun.
Yeah, some other references it had in it. One particular one was it's all part of the same thing. It's whenever they introduce the dude character, they bring up they bring up a huge cameo, but then a lot of references all at once. Mm-hmm. They bring up Captain America's shield, and then whenever that comes, at the moment that all of this is happening, the game is being broadcast all over the world. Yeah. And whenever he brings up Captain America's shield, it starts playing, I think, the Avengers theme. Mm-hmm. And then it just cuts over to Chris Evans looking at his phone saying, what the shit?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then there was Hulk's
hand. A Hulk hand, yeah.
There was
lightsaber.
There's lightsaber, but there was one more Marvel. Something else. I swear there was something else.
I don't remember.
I swear there was something else. But yeah, the lightsaber was cool. It's just that's what I like about it, because I thought you told me that the deal wasn't made with Fox. Uh-huh. I didn't remember if it was either. But that's just crazy, because that was something I didn't expect, and I clapped during this moment, because and I don't do that. I actually hate when people clap and do all that stuff. It bothers. It just feels awkward at a movie theater. But that scene was such a big surprise, and I liked it a lot. Another part I like was, do you remember whenever Ryan Reynolds is he's going off on that older lady?
Yeah.
About the cat? That was, I think, the funniest part in this movie. And I was really kind of disappointed this movie wasn't as funny as as I thought it would be. But I mean, but the funny moments that are in it, they do land. So I mean, which is always great. I didn't feel like there was any like cringeworthy lines or anything, but overall, I thought I'd give it a. I'll give like what I give it an 8.
Yeah.
I stick with that 8. I thought it was good.
Yeah, that was good too.
Yeah, I definitely recommend it. And then I guess we'll move on to our next news, which still goes on with Free Guy.
Yeah, the next topic we have for you is Ryan Reynolds has actually revealed that Disney wants a Free Guy sequel. Out right here, he says, and after 3 years messaging Free Guy as an original IP movie, Disney confirmed today that they officially want a sequel. And I mean, coming from Ryan Reynolds, that's as official as it can get.
Yeah.
I mean, that's as much news we have on it as we have on it right now. It's just that Ryan Reynolds announced it.
It's definitely cool to see, and definitely, I don't know if you did during the movie, about middle way through, I'm like, this could do a sequel. I can easily see it. But I'm all for a sequel. So, and I like the line that Ryan Reynolds put in the tweet about what it should be called, and if it's not, then we failed. I think that's funny.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I guess stay tuned for more Free Guy sequel news, because I'm sure we will get more news.
Yeah. And with that, we'll move on to the next topic here, and that is Shang-Chi is confirmed to release only in theaters by Disney. And another thing that goes with this is that seeing as how with the majority of Marvel movies during the pandemic, well, I guess we've only had one Marvel movie, Black Widow, but like Disney movies in general, they've released simultaneously in theaters and on Disney Plus. And with this only being in theaters, it's come out that Bob Chapek, the CEO of Disney, has called this an experiment.
Okay.
And Simu Liu, who plays Shang-Chi, right, as you see right there, he's actually come out and responded to that comment. Basically, he basically said, "We're not an experiment," which to me, it's like we've talked about it before about Bob Chapek. I think I agree with John Campia's take that Bob Chapek is destroying Disney from the inside ever since he's become CEO, and that we 100% need Bob Iger back, because he would have never done or said any of this shit.
No.
So I mean, with Bob Iger, I don't even know if we would have had Disney Premiere Plus.
Yeah.
So I don't know. It's just I don't know.
And you know my thoughts on the plus. Premium Plus thing. You know my thoughts on that.
Yeah.
That, and everybody, actually Disney knows the whole thing really in general, actually, with the with Scarlett Johansson doing their suing thing. But I think this is the best idea to do it only in theaters. That whole premium thing, it needs to stop. There's no need for it. But I really think this is the best idea. Just release it in theaters. Make sure everybody gets their money and doesn't get the shit end of the stick. Yeah. But it's definitely not an experiment, and it shouldn't be an experiment. But I don't know. I definitely agree with you that it seems like ever since he's got in charge, it's just kind of
it's gone down the shitter. Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
So hopefully, I don't know. Maybe this movie will do so well it'll change the future for streaming, I guess.
Yeah, and with that, we're actually going to move on to the next topic, and it's some Venom Let There Be Carnage news, and it's not good news. Venom Let There Be Carnage has actually been delayed 3 weeks to October, and according to this, Hotel Transylvania 4 was also delayed. But I mean, with us, I think we're just going to focus more on Venom, because for me personally, that's all I really care about in regards to this. Because I mean, they move dates. 3 weeks to me isn't that substantial of a move. Like, if it was, they never said exactly what they were moving for. Like, they never explicitly said it was because of the Delta variant or COVID or anything, which to me is, I don't know, it's just weird. because usually they mention it some reason, but they didn't mention Delta variant or COVID as the reason for their move. Yeah. They just moved it 3 weeks.
Yeah. They haven't said anything. They've been keeping it on the down low. But I just think what's going to be interesting about the whole thing is Venom Let There Be Carnage is coming out on the same day Halloween Kills comes out. It's just there's going to be an interesting competition between two different types of fan bases. You got your superhero fan base and your horror fans.
Yeah.
But when it comes down to it, I would rather see Halloween Kills over Venom Let There Be Carnage. I know you're thinking something different, probably.
Yeah, mine would be the other way around. Because we can see them both back to back. It doesn't have to be exclusive.
I know, but I mean, like, if we had no choice, but you pick. I am so looking forward to see Venom Let There Be Carnage.
Yeah.
But, I mean, Halloween Kills is, I can't remember where it was on my most anticipated movie, but it was up there in the top 3. I think it's going to be the better movie. I just think, I mean, I'm looking forward to Venom and all, like I said. I just don't know. And I think everyone's going to agree, too, maybe. I think the horror fans are going to do Venom. I really do. I think Halloween Kills will beat Venom. But I might be wrong, because did Venom make a lot of money? The first one did. It did, right? Didn't it make...
It did. It made over $800 million.
Yeah, so, I don't know. I think it's going to be a interesting competition, but... I definitely would see a double feature if we could. But why would you see Venom over Halloween Kills?
Because, like, I'm more interested in comic book movies right now than horror movies. Not that I'm not excited for Halloween, obviously.
Yeah.
I don't know. I just feel like I'm more excited for Venom than I am for Halloween.
Yeah. I mean, I'm definitely excited for both, but I don't know. Halloween Kills is just like the easy pick for me that I'd rather see that one over Venom. But I really want to know what the reason is, if it is the coronavirus, like the virus and everything. But like you said, 3 weeks isn't as big of a deal as delays we've seen in the past with like 3 months next year, where we've seen that before. So I hope both of these movies stay, because I'd love to see that weekend what the numbers look like.
Yeah.
But yeah, so hopefully no more delays this month. Let's keep everything going, because 2021 I think is going to finish on a good note with all these movies. So stay tuned if there's any more delays and everything. But for all the Hotel Transylvania people, if you're out there, did it say when that one got moved?
Let's see.
It's old date of September 24th, I think. What? Maybe.
Let me see. Where is it? Hotel Transylvania. Come on, where are you? So,
Go up top.
Hold on. I think it'll say right here.
Scroll up.
Oh, maybe it doesn't. I don't see it.
So this frees up the calendar. Sony wants to move Hotel Transylvania to old spot, September 24th. So I guess they're still just trying to put, because they're both owned by the same company. So,
yeah.
I guess they're just trying to put it in that place. I still would love to know Sony's reasoning by the whole thing, but
sorry about that. I'll let them out as soon as our video's over.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's about it for this. We're gonna go immediately into the box office, and Free Guy is pretty much killing it this week. You can see it made $28.4 million, and I think that might also have something to do with Disney wanting a sequel.
Oh yeah,
because $28.4 million in the opening weekend isn't bad at all, especially considering the time we're in. Because the Suicide Squad It made only 7.7. It dropped from number 1 down to number 5. From set to set, only making 7.7 million this week, this week period, which is insanely low. Because like looking back at it, whenever the last weekend, from what I remember reading, this Suicide Squad was considered a flop.
Yeah, and that's, I think, the statistic I'm looking at right now is 1 to 5. Black Widow, I think, dropped from 1 to 3, maybe, or maybe dropped 1 to 2.
Really?
1 to 5. Now that is the 74.4%. That is a number Warner Brothers cannot be like looking at.
Yeah.
But they gotta know the thing that's killing them is HBO Max. I think we've talked about it before. That is killing it. But Free Guy, like you said, it didn't do. I don't remember if we talked about it. It didn't do any of the streaming or anything. So only way if you want to see this movie is just theaters. So I don't blame them easily wanting to get a sequel made as fast as you can so you can make more money.
Yeah.
But Don't Breathe 2 came in at second. I don't know Dylan's thoughts on that, but I do want to see the movie, even though I think the first one is an okay film. I didn't think it was fantastic. But the second one looks more interesting just because... I don't know this. It looks like the people are the bad people, and he's just doing just protecting his house. I don't know if that's a good enough thing. But, and Respect came in at number 4, so I guess y'all know Aretha Franklin fans are trying to get to the movies. But I don't know, man. It definitely looks like if you look at even the ones down below, it seems like all these movies are taking big drops. So I don't know. Is everyone just going to the movies, seeing it once, like the first week, and then just...
It's possible.
Not doing, I guess, waiting. But yeah, those are good numbers. I can't wait to see. I don't know what comes out this coming week. So I got a feeling I think Free Guy will stay at the number 1 spot. But I might be wrong because a lot of movies have been taking big falls. So let's just see where it goes. And Suicide Squad, I want to know where it's going to fall next week. You think it's going to drop more? Or?
Oh, it has to.
Yeah. I don't know what's going on with that. I really would love to know. I guess people will just... Because I thought it'd be a box office success.
Yeah.
Going in. But with all the reviews and everything. But, I don't know. It's just crazy to me.
With that, we're going to move on to the next topic. And that is our review of Marvel's What If Episode 1. And it's basically what if Peggy Carter became Captain Carter. But Captain Britain, Captain Carter, basically that kind of thing. It's basically what if Captain America, the first Avenger, but Peggy Carter.
Yeah.
And I thought it was a really good episode. It's basically, like, if you remember watching Captain America, the first Avenger, it's basically like a shot-for-shot recreation in animation, but with Peggy Carter, as Captain Carter. Just basically her and Steve's roles are switched almost.
Yeah.
Except in this one, Steve is
it's like Iron Man.
He's skinny Steve, but Howard Stark builds him in basically like an Iron Man Mark 1 suit.
Yeah.
Remember from the beginning of Iron Man? Basically that. So that's basically what Episode 1 is. If you saw Captain America, the Winter Soldier, the first Avenger, that's basically what it is. Because at the end, Red Skull brings in like the Hydra octopus from a portal, and then Peggy goes through it, and then she ends up in 2012's Avengers.
Yeah.
So it's like I said, it's basically like almost a recreation of the first Avenger, except with a few different changes here and there. And I thought it all really worked. Like the animation was good. I thought the voice acting was okay. Like it could obviously be better. I think what it is some of the voice actors obviously weren't meant to be voice actors. Like Sebastian Stan. He clearly had some voice acting issues because I'm guessing he's not a voice actor. He's an on-screen actor.
Yeah.
But I thought it worked for what it was.
I thought it was all right. I didn't think it was anything fantastic. Yeah, the voiceover work, some of it was really Resident Evil 1 for PS1 style.
Really? You were almost a Jill sandwich.
I mean, no offense to you, Sebastian Stan. But dude.
What's with the fish puns?
Dude.
The fish shit.
Dude. Stop. Stop. Stop doing voice work. You suck. But, I mean, everybody else...
Who ordered the calamari?
Everybody else I thought was good. But yeah, I definitely get your point there with it's more or less just the first Avenger swapped. So, I mean, it kind of was. But I gotta say, it was pretty damn cool seeing kind of like the first Iron Man, if you could say.
Yeah.
That was really cool. And then going to the first Avengers kind of thing, that was cool. But my question when I saw that, was she more or less replacing Loki's entrance? Because it just kind of reminded me of Loki's entrance. Or would have that been before Loki came?
I think it was before Loki
You know what I'm
came.
talking about?
Yeah, I think it was before. I think it was before Loki came. I think that's what they said.
Okay. But, I mean, I thought it was fine for really what it was. I think you kind of hit the point whenever we saw it, that all these Disney Plus shows aren't fantastic. Do we know what next week's is, or?
I'm not sure. I don't think so.
But I guess this kind of reminds me of, like the character that's in the person who's like narrating it, kind of. What was this character's name?
The Watcher.
Is that a real person?
He's a character in Marvel. Yeah, he's one of the people who watches over the multiverse stuff, or universe, and like they just watch. They don't interfere.
Okay.
Because they were in Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2, remember? Because Stan Lee was sitting with them in his spacesuit.
Oh yeah, yep. Okay. But yeah, I mean, if I had to give it out of 5, I'd give it a 3 out of 5. I mean, I thought it was all right for what it was. What would you?
I do a 4. I mean, obviously there were things you can nitpick, and there were some obvious things that they need to iron out.
Animation was fine for what I mean, it wasn't bad.
For me, the voice acting was the big thing. Like some people, the voice acting didn't work, but for me, the majority of the voice acting was really good. Like I thought. I feel bad for forgetting her name, but Peggy Carter, I thought her voice acting was perfect.
She was great. I thought you could tell it wasn't Chris Evans as Steve, but I mean, it wasn't as noticeable, I guess, as the thing. But yeah, I mean, I thought for what it was good, and I'm still looking forward to, I think the zombie one the most, so... But yeah, I can't wait to see what they bring in next week.
All right, we have one more main topic. Yes.
Yeah.
Chase saw the Suicide Squad. Sorry about that. Chase saw the Suicide Squad again, and he said he has like a re-review.
Yeah. I got to see it again with someone special. I still like the movie. I still thought it was a blast. I kind of found a couple things I did not like. I didn't think the pacing was as bad the second view around. I didn't think it would really bothered me as much. But they make King Shark in this movie so stupid. It's just not who he is. He's not dumb.
Peacemaker.
Bird. He just makes him so dumb.
And
I don't book upside down. I don't know. That was I didn't like. I still don't like Rick Flag in this movie. I just think he's just there. Like, he just doesn't do anything.
Well, then I guess you can be happy that he died.
Yeah. I still think Peacemaker's awesome in this movie. I love him.
Yeah.
And Bloodsport. Bloodsport is, like I said, their connection is awesome. I still think Captain Boomerang got the shit end of the stick I think that was really dirty. But Polka Dot Man, I wish they would not have killed him off. I think that was a mistake because I don't know if you could believe me with this. I could see a Polka Dot Man solo film or something. Like him appearing, because he's a Flash villain.
Yeah.
So I could see him coming back. I think that's a mistake. But I think the key thing I would like to see is Ratcatcher 2 become a villain. I think I've heard someone was talking about that. Somebody wants that to happen. I really think she could play a good villain. And I think the thing would be good because her, like, she's kind of at the end. I felt like was connecting to Bloodsport, so I feel like they could do that well. But overall, yeah, I still had a blast with this movie. I think the pacing was definitely not as bad. Yeah. So you need to see it again and see if you still think there's pacing problems. But I said King Shark, I don't think did him right. But I still like the character is the thing. I still don't have a problem with them. I just think they just made him stupid. But I definitely recommend go see this movie. Please give it money. Don't make it fall that low. I mean, I guess it already did, so nothing I'm considering matter. But yeah, I still give it a 8.
All right. With that, we're going to move on to one of those special topics that we like to do whenever me and Chase are together. We haven't done this in about a month or two because we haven't been able to get together to do this, and we didn't want to do it over Zoom.
Yeah, so we could have done it over Zoom. It's just I think it's in person is the best way to do this.
Yeah, and I'm gonna make our camera pretty small so you can see what we're doing. What we're doing this week is our top 3 movies of 2021 so far. Now, we'll do another one of these. I think another good time to do one of these probably be in like January, February of next year when the dust settles in 2021 and we see all the movies that came out this year, if they haven't been delayed.
Yeah, I always do. We did ours last year of top 10 movies, so we'll definitely do those. Who's going first?
I think I have yours pulled up.
Okay, so we'll go from that.
All right, and Chase is gonna start with number 3.
3, 2, and then 1.
Number 3.
Number 3. Godzilla vs. Kong. I had such a fun time with this movie. The action scenes are insane. Mechagodzilla was an awesome villain. Godzilla was at his prime in this one. Kong was pretty good too, even though Kong bows to no one. Sure, whatever. This was a great movie and an awesome IMAX experience. If you didn't get to see it in IMAX, I mean, that was just the best way to see it. I've seen this movie 3 times in theaters, and I'm glad I did. I mean, it was this awesome thing, and it never got tiresome. But yeah, moving on to the next. Nobody at number 2. This was a awesome action movie. I don't know if Dylan, have you got a chance to see this yet?
No.
Man, this movie's insane. This movie is awesome. Bob Odenkirk is killer in this movie. Only thing, like, I seen Bob Odenkirk was The Office, if you remember his episode in The Office, and he was great in that. But you would never think that guy could pull it off. But damn, he does, man. The bus scene, and then at the end, damn, this movie is awesome. I definitely recommend, if you can see this movie, please see it. It is so damn good. I mean, I would love to see Bob Odenkirk and John Wick tag teaming together and taking out somebody. That'd be so awesome. And moving on to number 1, everyone's got to know. I think I've already said it. A Quiet Place 2. Dang, this is such a good sequel. It's better than the first. Cillian Murphy is awesome. Emily Blunt's great. I can't remember what the young girl's name is.
I can't either.
But she was great.
I want to say Millie, but that's not true. That's in something else. But
the monsters are awesome in this. the only problem I had with it was the boat dock scene, not the whole scene in general, just those people that are there. That was just the one complaint I had with it, which really is just a nitpick. But man, this movie is great. I've seen it 3 times, and every time I watch it, it's awesome. But those are my top 3 so far. I can't wait to the end of the start of next year to get my whole list, because I think it's going to be really. I have to sit down and think about it. But Dylan, what's yours so far?
All right, so here are mine. For some reason, this is not black when it should be. Okay, it keeps wanting to switch to white, and I don't know why. But that's okay. It'll work the same way. Let's see. Did I start from left? I think I started left to right. My number 3 movie is Quiet Place, even though that's Chase's number 1. When this came out, this was my number 1 movie of the year, because before that, I mean, all the other movies this year were great so far, but I thought this one, really worked for me the most out of all the other movies I saw this year. And like Chase said, it was great. It's a good horror movie because the monsters are just fantastic. I feel like you see them a lot more in this one than you did the first one, which I really like. A lot of drama, a lot of suspense. John Krasinski's character comes back at the beginning of this because it shows you like how it started. They came from a meteor or whatever.
Yeah, I forgot about the opening scene. The opening scene's awesome, and it makes it great.
Yeah, so Quiet Place Part 2 was great. Moving on to my number 2, it's The Suicide Squad, and for all the problems I had with this movie, I did it a 7 to a 7.5. I did give it a 7 to a 7. What the heck happened? There we go. Sorry about that. Chase got up and just completely almost tipped the whole desk over.
My bad.
Yeah, you didn't have to close the door, by the way. We're fine with Rocky just sitting here between us. Look at him. He's right there in the camera. But anyways, what was I going to say? Yes, here's the live streaming. Suicide Squad, it was one of my favorite movies of the year, like I said, and even though I only gave it like a 7.5 to 7, it was still one of my favorite movies of the year, enough to be number 2. Like we were talking about, the action worked, the comedy worked. I did have pacing issues with it, but I still thought my overall enjoyment of the movie, I liked it more than Quiet Place Part 2. What opinion do you have?
Why do you give it a 7 if it's just the pacing issues? It's not like the only problem I'm seeing. Like, wouldn't it just drop it down a number?
Well, for me, the pacing issues were huge in this for me. Because, like I said, I felt like they rushed to get to a lot of parts when they needed, like, some more backstory and some more, like, explanation. Like, and I like from what it's for me personally, pacing issues are a huge part of a movie for me. Because if I feel like they're rushing towards something, I'm just like, whoa, hold on, slow down. Yeah. You need to explain this, or this, so I understand what we're getting into. Like, sure, you can just throw me into it, and if you want me to just immediately see action, but do you not want me to understand what's going on in the scene that has the action in it? Like, understand who some of these characters might be, if some people who don't read every comic knows who these people are. Because for me personally, I love comic book movies, and I've never read a comic book in my life because I don't care to. I know about comic books. I know about the majority of comic book characters. I know about the majority of storylines, you know. For me. And like everybody in that first team, I had no idea who any of them were besides Rick Flag and Harley Quinn. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like Weasel, never heard of him. He's awesome. The other, like all the other characters.
You did too.
Captain Boomerang, sure, him, but not the rest. Nathan Fillion's character, I had no idea who he was.
Michael Rooker's character should have lasted till
Michael Rooker's character, I had no idea who he was. And then, like, the other ones, we barely had any, like, backstory or talk about them. They just threw them in front of us and expected us to go with it, which is fine, because, I mean, it didn't matter because the majority of them died anyway. Yeah. But, like take Polka Dot Man, for example. I know he's a Batman villain. He's one of he's like a C or D
Flash.
tier, whatever. He's a villain. He's just like a C or D tier villain. I just remember him in Batman comics. Yeah. But he's a C or D tier villain that they really pushed him up to a higher elevated level in this one.
Oh yeah, they did.
And King Shark, he's a
He is a Flash.
He's a Flash villain too?
Okay.
Jesus.
Please tell me you didn't like how they treated him.
I didn't like how they treated him, no, because I like how they did in the Harley Quinn show. In the Harley Quinn show, he was smart in the Harley Quinn show, but he was still funny and entertaining, not a fucking stupid, not fucking stupid.
And it's not the whole thing. I mean, he's stupid the whole thing, but there's something that, like, whenever he's eating those people, and everything, that's King Shark. That's great.
Yeah.
But everything else, he just treat him like a big moron, and he's not a moron. He's really smart. It's just that was my thing. Yeah,
do you see now why I gave it a 7? Like for me, I explained the pacing. Pretty
the second
well
time when I saw it, the pacing didn't bother me as bad. But I think that's what you need to see. I think you need to see a second time, and then maybe the pacing won't bother you.
All right, I'm gonna get off Suicide Squad because I could rant about the pacing all day. But I'm gonna
sound like, but what you're not saying it ranting in a bad way because you like the movie.
Yeah. I'm going to move on to number 1, and that's Free Guy. I mean, I had just a really fun time with this movie. Not that I didn't have fun with the other two, or Suicide Squad, because everybody said Suicide Squad was a fun time, including me. But for me, Free Guy, I don't know if there's anything in this movie that I didn't like. I thought the pacing was good. I thought all of the characters worked. I thought the comedy worked. I thought the concept was great and it was executed great. I thought everybody played their characters well. All the acting was great. Like we talked about in our actual review, there was not really any cringy dialogue other than the streamer ninja other than that streamer ninja. I forgot he said some stuff. And they said noob a lot, but that's whatever. I just thought everything worked in this movie, and that's why I'm making it my number 1 overall.
I just can't wait to see if it stays by the start of next year or not. But everyone's opinion's definitely different, so I'd love to know everyone else's thoughts on ours and what's yours, because there's so many different movies that came out this year that we haven't got a chance to see. What's the next movie for us?
The next movie for us, I think, is Shang-Chi, right? Because that's September 3rd.
Yeah, Shang-Chi. I think that's going to be a blast.
It's in 2 or 3 weeks.
Mm-hmm. I think that's going to be an absolute fun movie. I know Candyman comes out in a couple weeks.
Yeah.
I might go see that one. That might be all right. So I guess if you have any thoughts, please leave them down in the comments.
Be sure to give us a like and a subscribe and hit the bell so you get notified every time we post something. Yeah, we'd appreciate it.
But we appreciate everyone's support.